We've done everything right. We've lead generated. We've converted. We've done face-to-face appointments, buyer counsel. They're excited. We're showing homes. We find homes. What happens? We can't get offers accepted, right? So let me show you what we're doing right now on how to get offers accepted, even when you're not the highest offer. When we write a winning offer, we call the listing agent. We're competitive. All the things I just showed you that we do, okay? When we call the listing agent, hey, Kevin, you working any offers on that? I got 10. Great. Are you doing a highest and best? When is that? Right? I want to know. Now, preferably, I make this call with my client right there. When they said they like the home, I say, great. Hey, let's see if we can get the listing agent on the phone. Why do I call with them present?
So they know that their sense of urgency, there's multiple offers, they see it, they feel it.
And if they hear, oh my God, we got so many offers, I'm losing count. Is it better that they heard that from the listing agent or me? The listing agent. I don't ever want to be perceived as a greedy real estate agent who's trying to tell them to offer more money. So when they hear it come from the listing agent, it's like, all right, what do we do? Now I'm on their side, right? So there's key questions we always want to ask. Hey, when do your sellers want to close? Do they need a lease back? What's important to your seller? Is it price or is it closing time? What do we need to do? And hey, what do you think it's going to take to get this deal put together? You do a great job at this. A great job. Now, how long have you been licensed?
4 months. Right?
4 months. How long have you been on the team officially? When did we do that training downstairs?
About a month and a half ago.
Month and a half ago. Elliot's closing 3 deals this month. 3 deals this month. All multiple offers. True? He does a phenomenal job at getting the agents to tell him where they need to come in. But he asks. And he does it in a tonality that's just like, listen, I got an incredible buyer. We'll get this deal done. Where do we need to come in? Well, it's got to be here. All right, listen, if I came in at that number, are we the winner? Well, you'd be in the running. So you're telling me if I came in above that, we got a better chance? Yes. And then he just goes, I talked to the agent. Here's where they're at. They said we'd be in the running, but not guaranteed. When I said if we went here, they said that might get the deal done. And then he walks his buyer to where they would need to win. And are your buyers happy that they got the house accepted? Yeah. He naturally does that really well. You guys got to get to that level of, are you afraid to ask this question?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Nope.
Now, is it going to work 100% of the time? No. But you're not writing 7 offers with 1 buyer. You're writing 1 or 2. In the grand scheme of things, like, that's really great because you know there are buyers out there who've written 10, 15 offers and not 1. Okay? So this is really important. So once we've done this, we got to get them competitive. Elliot, have we not done the ladder strategy with every one of our buyers where we tell them, okay, you want to offer 350? Hey, if I called you tomorrow and said that the house went for 355, would you be upset? Or would you have said, damn, I wish I knew I would have paid that? And if they say, yes, I would have paid that, what do you say?
Okay, it might make sense to go in now at 355.
Yep. Now you laddered them up. And then what do we say after that? If I called you tomorrow and told you it went for 360, would you be upset or would you say I would have paid 360?
What happens if they get
We ladder them up usually 2 to 3 times.
You don't like this house.
There's one shot. This isn't old school real estate where there's negotiations, guys. Usually in my career, you were asking 4, I'd come in at 380, you'd come down to 395, I'd come and we'd meet somewhere. That doesn't happen. You got one shot, highest, best. There is no negotiation. The offers are either getting accepted or they're not.
At that point, I mean, you're kind of like, I guess you're talking about, hey, look, we got the house. It was a multiple offer situation. We got it. We won. This is what the cost of that payment. This is what it costs one.
You know what? We can't guarantee the appraisal. Now, we do our due diligence. We look. One of the things I will teach you guys to do is don't just look at what's sold. Look at the active options and more importantly, look at pendings. Pendings are your insights to the future. So let's say house is on the market at 4, we're having to go 475. All the sales comps are 420, 430. You're like, man, we're having to go 50,000. but there's a pending that was 425. You open up the pending, you read the notes, multiple offers, or you look at the days on market, it's 3. What does that tell you? Probably had a lot of competition. You call that agent and say, hey, I saw this house is pending. Looks like you guys took a contract 3 weeks ago. What does that mean? It's probably going to close soon. I know you can't tell me, but is there a good chance when this closes, it'll close up over 470? Yeah, there's a good chance you'll see that. Great. And when do you think that might close and hit the MLS? I go back to my buyer and say, I just talked to this deal. They're pending. Now, I asked the agent this specific question, is there a good chance it's going to close over 470? They said yes, and it's going to close in a week, which means that will set the new benchmark for today's market, which will be on the appraisal. So we're not talking about, are we guaranteeing 50 grand? If we go 480, we're only talking maybe 5,000. So what you're doing is showing the buyer how you go and get them this information. Your buyer's gonna be like, dude, I can't believe you did that. That's so good to know because we're willing to cover 10 grand of the appraisal. All right, good. So now we can go probably 485, 490, right? So I try to hedge the losses for my client. Now I always tell them, now listen, that's only if this deal closes. If it falls apart, I don't know where it's going to come in. But I know if this one closes, we just hedged our losses pretty significantly. We'd be talking a much smaller out of pocket. That's how I protect my people. But you have to tell them, you do understand, if this doesn't close, you could be on the hook for the full appraisal. And you have to have those funds available. Because if you say, I don't have those funds, like you're in breach of the contract, you're not getting your earnest money deposit, you're not getting your option money, like there's a financial loss. So are you comfortable with that? Are you confident with that? But what you've demonstrated is your expertise because no other agent's calling pendings. Nobody's doing that. I do that for all of my people to make sure. So we talked about reducing and limiting these contingencies, 3 to 5 days or waiving that. We talked about here's what a strong secondary looks like. So my people are so confident. So when you do this, guys, it's not the one thing that gets your offers accepted. It's all 8 of those. Really competitive, really strong terms, having your lender follow up. So imagine if you are $2,000 under the highest bid, but you have no mortgage contingency. You got a 3-day option. You put $2,500 in the option and your lender call and you have the full appraisal. That listing agent is going to go to their seller and say, listen, it's not the highest, but this term is better, this term is better, this term is better. Oh, and by the way, their lender called, they're already underwritten and approved. They can close literally in 10 days. So do you want to risk the whole deal on an unknown for $2,000 or do you just want? I can tell you last year, 15 of our buyers that I personally closed were all in multiple bids. At least 7 of them were not the highest offer because the agents told me you are not the highest offer, but we liked your terms. So it does work. Now, are you getting it 10,000 below? No, you got to be competitive, which is why number 2 was competitive. Always have your lender follow up. If your lender won't do this, do not use the lender. If your buyer comes with their own lender, you better call that lender. If that lender says, I only work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, you got to tell your buyer, okay, if you choose to work with them, you understand that might be, 9 to 5. We're going to be working outside of those. We're going to be working weekends and nights. There's going to be offer deadlines on Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays. Your lender's not working. So we lose a key strategy in this whole approach. Are you okay with that? And then most will say, no, they don't want that. This, I can't. You have to make working with you easy. Guys, you've got to be friendly with real estate agents. The rapport you have with agents will go to bat for you and say, they're not the best. I think this is who we want to work with. Like they will do that. You got to make it easy. Put all of your documents in one PDF. I've had agents send me their zip forms. I've had agents send me their dot loop. I got to go in, I got to download it, I got to break it up. I don't want to do any of that. That is a pain in the ass. And when you have 40 offers, do you want 40 pain in the asses? Like if you weren't professional enough, and when I say they send me their dot loop, When their buyer executes it, they just forward it. They don't even type me an email. They're just forwarding me the .loop. That's lazy. I'm not going to work with you. They do not call and follow up. They do not text to make sure I got the offer. If you are that piss poor in your communication on something like this, I can only imagine how it's going to be to work with you. So those to me automatically get a knock on them on who I'm going to work with. Put it in an easy document. Have your lender approval letter attached in one easy offer. Write a offer summary in the email so I don't even have to unlock and look at any of your documents. I should know everything you're submitting. So here's my email. Hey, Ryan, attaches a strong offer on your client's property. Because of my client's situation, they need an answer. This is probably not a good example because I usually wouldn't do this. But in this situation, I needed an answer because of my situation. But I would leave that last person. But here's what I want to show you. Here are the offer highlights. 440 offer, full appraisal waiver, 2% earnest money deposit, $1,500 dollar option, 5 days, close February 11th or sooner with a free lease back until the 21st. The buyer's fully approved with my preferred lender, 10-day mortgage commitment. Our lender should have left you a voicemail already. Please confirm that you've got this. There's nothing that you need to look. You don't even need to open my offer. It's all there. So that makes it easy. Now I will show you this. This is just a little extra. You do not need this, but this is something that I bought this service. It's called High Note. It's pretty cool. It takes the traditional offer and really separates how I show up in that agent's inbox. So when I send this out, this is what they get. 1416 Biltmore Lane offer presentation. Little hello Les, here's who I am as a real estate agent. Here I downloaded a personal video message. Here's who I am. Here's who my buyers are. Here's why you want to work with us. In this video, I tell them, hey, listen, I know there's a lot of buyers out there. I just want to tell you, when I work with a buyer, we sit through an hour buyer consultation. My buyers are educated on the market. They're educated about how aggressive they need to be with their offers. They're educated about appraisal waiver guarantees and what makes a strong offer. We've had them fully underwritten and approved by my in-house lender who I've used for 7 years. We've never had a deal fall through. This is as good as cash. My lender is also going to be calling you so you know exactly where we stand. Just wanted to send this information. Looking forward to possibly getting the opportunity to work with you and your seller. It's a 2-minute video. Then here's my offer. Here's my summary. Here's my pre-approval letter. Everything is super simple, easy to clean. Imagine when they open this in front of their seller. How I stand out. Do you need to do it? No, it's $300 a year. I think it's pretty badass. And just again, is another little way that I'm standing out in things that I do to kind of make our offer stand out. And then great communication. It's not test, it's text. Okay. So text the agent once your offer's been submitted. You want validation that they've received it. Use video if possible. Explain your buyer process so they know how you work with your buyers. If you have references where you were the winning agent on a multiple bid, call those agents. Say, hey, I know we just did that deal and it was a multiple offer. That seems to be the way of the future here. I'm wondering, could you maybe send me 2 or 3 lines about how it was to work as far as, how we got things done, how easy it was? You collect 5 or 6 of those emails. Those are great to include. Like, hey, I know you probably got 20 offers on this. I've included the last 4 agents that I worked with, listing agents who had multiple offers, just so you know how it is to work with me as a buyer agent. Nobody's doing that. It's a great way to separate yourself, okay? And then tips for getting the buyer to write a competitive offer. We just talked about this. Look at the recent sales, list price, sales price ratio. What you want to show them is like, look, this one listed at 3, it sold for 370. That one listed for 350, sold for 4. This one, like, you want to show them. What we're seeing is 50 to 70,000 is like the gap. So that's where we need to be competitive. Understand that your buyers will may not always have the highest offer. You got to ask them, how do you feel? That's the ladder language. Look at pending sales. Break everything down by monthly payment. Hey, listen, they're asking if we got to go 450, that's a difference in a monthly payment of this and that. Are you comfortable with this monthly payment? Because $5,000 sounds like a lot. $10,000 sounds like a lot. But $10,000 at 4% interest rate, $40 a month? Do you want to lose this deal over $40 a month? Shit, I pay $40. You know what I mean? Like
No,
now
the
you just,
value of the house
you
is
change
$10.
their perspective. It's not $10,000, it's $40 a month. Well, for $40 a month, no, I don't want to lose that. I mean, for $40 a month, that's 10 less coffees. You know what I mean? Like they all of a sudden you make a big number down to, and you could say, hey, it's $40 a month. It's like 10 less Starbucks this month. Can you do with less 10 Starbucks and get this deal done? It's like, holy shit, yeah. Like I don't want to lose a house over 10 coffees. Like that's the contrast. So that sales principle is contrast. You take the big and you break it down into dollar amount, what they actually see. Damn, my phone died. We almost made it. So guys, to be great at this, not just in real estate, but lead conversion, anything, it takes consistency. It takes practice. It takes effort. What I just broke down to you guys is worth millions of dollars in your career and commission. And that's concerned. Like this is what the top real estate teams in the world are training their people on. This is what I did for NAEA. So here's my question, guys. Are you committed to implementing the systems and practicing? And if you are, like what your goals, the things you guys have shared with me, it's very easy to do, but it takes consistency. It absolutely takes a little bit of consistency and it takes some practice. And in real estate, nothing happens overnight. You just have to know that. The hard work you put in today will pay you in 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. Why? Because we know it takes 8 to 10 weeks on average for the buyer to buy, right? So don't get worried that shit's not coming within the first month or two. You got to plant the seeds. You got to follow up and you got to do this shit every single day. If you do this and you participate in the coaching and the training, you do the the role play, you do the system that I taught you to memorize these scripts, I promise you, you will not fail. I won't let you fail. But I can't do all of that for you. You got to hit the phones, you got to lead prospect, and you got to know what the hell you're saying. And then you got to internalize that script. You got to internalize that presentation. You got to make it yours. You have stories. You have stories. You have stories. You got to bring your story. Hey, let me tell you about this buyer that we just worked. You can talk about how you've won bids in multiple offers because you've done it. You did 3 this month, right? So that's really important, okay? But you guys got to be committed to going all in on this. So if you notice, not one thing in there was about me, which makes this a scalable, duplicatable system that all of you guys can implement tomorrow into your business. So hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of that. And I think we did pretty well by 1 o'clock.
Thanks, brother.
Very good.
So, all right, guys.
Myself.
I appreciate you guys.